Welcome to this brief guide on how to use the Obsidian Web Clipper extension. Reading articles on the web in 2026 is a miserable experience. There's pop-ups, cookie banners, sticky video players, and browser reading modes that butcher anything more complex than a blog post. And if you actually want to save what you're reading and do something useful with it, well, good luck. But here's the thing though, there is a free open source browser extension that solves all of this. And most people have never even heard of it. It's called the Obsidian Web Clipper. Now before I lose some of you, I know what you're thinking. I don't even use Obsidian. That's completely fine. You genuinely don't need to. This is the part that surprises most people. You don't even need an Obsidian Vault in order to use the Web Clipper. You don't even need to have Obsidian installed. But if you do use Obsidian, it's going to be substantially better. More on that as we go. So, let's get into it. First things first, let's get the extension installed. Head over to obsidian.md/clipper or just search Obsidian Web Clipper in your browser's extension store. You'll find that it's available for Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge, Brave, Arc, Orion, Vivaldi, and more. Install it and you'll see the small Obsidian gem icon appear in your toolbar. Click on it on any page and you'll get a small popover. You don't need to configure anything at all in order to get started. If you do want to send clippings directly to your Obsidian Vault, you'll find that there's a button at the bottom of the popover directly for that. It's something that I personally use constantly. Maybe I find a great article or I come across a tool that could make a good YouTube video, so then I can save it in seconds and come back to it later. But for now, let's start with a feature that most people don't even know exists. So we open any article, something with a lot of ads, maybe a busy layout, or just a page that's annoying to read. We go ahead and we click on the Web Clipper icon. Along the top of the pop-up, you'll see a row of icons. There's a settings cog, an open in page option, a highlighter, and the one that we want right now, the reader, which looks kind of like an open book. Go ahead and click that. Whoa, what just happened? In under 50 milliseconds, every piece of clutter on that page is gone. There's no ads, no cookie banners, no sticky headers, no sidebar widgets. Just the article in beautiful, clean typography with proper spacing, working code blocks, intact tables, and a logical heading hierarchy. This is the Obsidian Reader, and it is right now one of the best reading modes available in any browser. It handles complexity that native readers can't. So things like code blocks are rendered with proper syntax, tables remain intact, and footnotes are linked and functional. Most browser reading modes will fall apart on anything more complex than a blog post. However, Obsidian Reader handles it all. And it works on sites that other readers won't touch. So things like paywalled sites, complex magazine layouts, multi-page articles, Obsidian Reader handles far more of the modern web than most native alternatives. And as you saw, it can render pages in under 50 milliseconds. Right, that's not a marketing number, that's what it actually does. The moment you hit the toggle, it's basically already done. You compare that to something like Chrome's reading mode, which can take a second or two and still not quite get it right. The reason it's this good comes down to the engine that's underneath it, but I'll explain that in just a moment. First though, let me show you something else that's built right into the same extension. Here's a feature that I think is genuinely underrated, and it's the highlighter. Back over here in our pop-up, look for the highlighter icon at the top, right there in the same row as the reader. Click on it to activate highlight mode. Now here's what I love about how this works. When you hover over any block of text, say a paragraph, a heading, or a list, the entire block gets a yellow dotted outline around it. Click once and it highlights the whole block automatically. Click again to remove it. There's no finicky text selection, no trying to get the cursor in exactly the right spot, just hover and click. But if you want a more precise selection, you can also click and drag across any text and get a clean, precise highlight that fills out neatly across the whole space. No awkward partial lines. And all of your highlights are also exportable. So open up the pop-up, click on the settings cog, and there's an option here for the highlighter where you can export everything as a JSON file. That's great if you want to take your annotations into another tool or build a workflow around them. And if you want to clear them, there's a trash can icon to wipe all of the highlights from the current page. But here's where it gets really interesting for Obsidian users. When you clip a page to your vault, those highlighted sections come through in your note using double equals, like this, which is Obsidian's native highlighting syntax. So every annotation that you made while reading is already there in your note, marked up and ready to use. No extra steps required. For anyone who does research workflows like writing, studying, building a knowledge base, the combination of reader mode and the highlighter is genuinely powerful. You get a clean reading experience, you mark what matters, and when you save it, the annotation work is already done. But as I said, none of this requires Obsidian. You can highlight the text, export the JSON, and take it wherever you need. But the ideal workflow, where this extension really shines, is getting all of that annotated research into somewhere like Obsidian, where you can then use AI-based plugins like Gemini Scribe, Smart Composer, or Claudian to synthesize everything you've collected. That's when a knowledge base stops being an archive and starts actually doing something for you. So, why is Obsidian Reader this good at stripping out the clutter? The answer is an open source library called defuddle, and it's worth understanding because it also opens up a few extra tricks for you. Defuddle was built by the Obsidian team specifically to extract the main content from any web page and return it as clean, structured markdown. Since version 1.1 of the Clipper, defuddle has been the engine underneath everything that we've just seen. So every time you activate reader mode or copy content from the Clipper, defuddle is the one doing the work. So why does Markdown matter specifically? Well, if you've seen any of my previous Obsidian videos, you'll know that Markdown is the native language of AI. When you feed an AI tool clean Markdown, you're giving it a structured, token-efficient representation of the content. No wasted tokens on navigation menus, ad scripts, or cookie notices. If you're using Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT for research, this makes a real difference to the quality of what you're going to get back. And if you're interested in setting up a full AI-powered Obsidian Vault to take this even further, I'll link my video to that in the description below. Defuddle, though, also works as a completely standalone tool, independent of the Web Clipper. Simply head to defuddle.md, paste in any URL, and it extracts the content instantly. No setup, no account, no ads. There's also a URL prefix trick. You can simply add defuddle.md / in front of any URL directly in your browser's address bar, and it'll be processed on the fly. And if you want to automate it, you can even do the same thing from your terminal by simply using curl defuddle.md / followed by the URL, and you get the markdown output directly. For most people, though, the Web Clipper is going to be the right way to use it. Let's look at one of the most powerful things that defuddle enables. Now, I know there are some people out there who, given the choice, would much rather read a clean text article than sit through a 10-minute tutorial video, which is a bit ironic given that pretty much everything these days is a tutorial video, including, obviously, this one. So let's talk about what defuddle does with YouTube. You can open any YouTube video, then click on the Web Clipper icon. What you get in the preview field isn't just the title and the description, it's the full transcript, broken down into sections by chapter with timestamps on every line. You didn't need a transcription tool, there's no subscription pricing, no waiting. Just the complete text of the video extracted from YouTube's own transcript data by defuddle, formatted and ready to use. Let me show you this on an actual example. Here's a tutorial video on publishing Obsidian notes to the web. When I activate reader mode, I still have the video itself visible, but I also have the full transcript laid out below it, broken down by chapter with timestamps for every section. So instead of scrubbing through the video looking for the parts that I want, I can scan or search the transcript, find the timestamp, and then jump straight there. It also strips out all of the surrounding ads and recommended video noise, so if I want to just have a video playing and read along at the same time, this is ideal for that. And I can still clip all of this, the full transcript, chapters, timestamps, directly into Obsidian with just a couple of clicks. Think about what this actually enables though. You might find a 45-minute interview with someone relevant to the topics that you're working on, and instead of sitting through the whole thing to find that one section you want, use the clipper to get the full transcript. Search it, find the specific section that you need, and jump straight to the timestamp. What could have taken 45 minutes of watching can now take you 30 seconds. Or maybe you're watching a tutorial and you want to keep the steps for reference. Simply clip the transcript to your Vault and you've got a searchable, formatted note with every step documented and timestamped. And just like with articles, you don't have to save this to Obsidian. You can simply copy the transcript straight out of the Clipper window and paste it wherever you need. The Obsidian connection is purely optional, but in my opinion, very, very useful. Now, one last thing worth calling out, because a lot of people don't realize this. The Obsidian Web Clipper isn't just a desktop tool. It works on any browser that supports extensions, and increasingly, mobile browsers do. On iOS, Orion browser has full extension support, which means the Web Clipper works. And on Android, Kiwi Browser and others do the same. Install it exactly as you would on desktop, and reading mode, the highlighter, and transcript extraction will all work exactly as they do on your computer. If you're reading something on your phone and you want a clean view or you want to save it, well, same tool, same workflow, wherever you are. And there you have it. The Obsidian Web Clipper is quietly one of the most useful browser extensions available right now. It has a reading mode that genuinely beats almost every native alternative, a smart highlighter that travels with your clips, and YouTube transcript extraction that makes you wonder why you ever watched a full tutorial video the slow way. It's free, it's open source, and I've included the link in the description below. Now, if this changed how you think about reading and saving content from the web, please drop a comment below. I would love to know what workflows you're building around it. Now, get out there and start clipping, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to check out the channel. And if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.